But shout out to Nonini. We are dressed by Mgenge True, so this is his merchandise. This is not a paid ad.
Sunday wind down, Ida with the voice on the speaker, Sunny on the mic and it's all round. Conversations are bigger, so fill my cup, fill my cup. I'm already tuned in all the way up, all the way up. I can't stop listening now.
Welcome to the Sunday Wine Pot. Take over, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sunday Wind Down podcast.
Yes.
Aida, Kwanza, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Have you changed your WhatsApp settings to where like people can just add you to groups?
Yep. You know me.
Hey.
First of all, I already hate to be disturbed, right? And then you're just randomly added to a group just out of... Let's talk about it first. Don't put me in a group. Ask,
Yeah.
Have the courtesy. Why am I in this? Who are these other people? Why are you sharing my number?
Yeah.
I really absolutely don't
I
like
used to
those
have
groups.
it to where anyone could just add me to a group. And then...
Did I change your settings? I know for sure I changed June's settings.
You might have changed mine.
And I was like, this is how you do it, and you cancel, and they have to it's just I feel like it's invasion of privacy.
Honestly, it's been within the last month or two that I've removed that setting of people to be able to see whether I've read their message or not.
Oh, me, I live that. You sit there, I've read your message, what you gonna do? It's my phone. Imagine sending a message to my phone and forcing me to read it and reply. Are you mad? It's my phone. I pay the bill. I make sure you know that I saw your message.
Yeah.
It was delivered. Haikupotea huko umeme.
I read.
Yeah. And I decided to maybe... But I say that. I say that and realize sometimes I'm the same person who forgets to press send. It has happened with me and you a lot. I'm like, guy, I didn't send that message. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I texted a huge... I forget. So... Depending on where we are, you could understand it, you could not. But a lot of times I really don't enjoy being added into WhatsApp groups
and
without
then the other
being
thing
told.
it does also is it tells people when you were last online.
Oh, does it? I feel like I removed that one.
Yeah, when you were last on WhatsApp. So now, if you tell someone, mazeni nilikuwa nimelala, or I was sleeping.
Yeah.
Or like, what do you mean you were sleeping? You were online 2 hours ago or something.
Somebody used to do that to me. I removed that setting. Even on Instagram, you can remove that setting.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I had to be like, somebody would send me a message and then they're like, I saw it. You're online on WhatsApp, but you're online on Instagram. I'm just like, bro, me, I hate it. I removed that. I can show you how to remove that setting.
I think after the pandemic is when I removed that setting of being added to groups on WhatsApp. Because during the pandemic, let's all face it, we've all been through this. Everyone was put in some sort of a fundraising group.
Yeah. And at that time, I guess we needed each other and just the support
and the community
was good.
and everything, yes.
Yeah.
But it's gotten to a point where now I'm being added to, or I was being added to so many WhatsApp groups. Till even now, I'll get sent a link. Like a WhatsApp invite, join this group. So what I'll do is I'll usually ask them, what is this group about? They'll tell me, so-and-so lost so-and-so, so-and-so. This. Okay, cool. So what's the donation link? Like, is it Cash App or whatever? They'll tell Cash App this. I said, okay, here, I'm sending you a Cash App, but I'm not
that I don't have to be in the, Yeah,
especially if it's not someone I know closely or something like that.
Yeah, you don't really need to be there.
But let me just donate if it's someone you knew, something happened to them, I'll donate. But I don't need to see the back and forth and the...
Yeah.
And
then another thing I don't... Well, they say they do it for transparency. But also, how some people will do a list
of who has given what.
Yeah. So if I've given 10,000, and we're in the same list, you're looking at whatever you're gonna use. Like it depends on how big the.
Because if you're out here giving $10,000 let me get in line.
You want to start a GoFundMe?
I want to start a GoFundMe.
First of all, Abu, let's put a pin on that. I need you to help me understand how that works in a second.
We'll go there in a second.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, I feel like sometimes it may demotivate somebody. Maybe sometimes you are going through a hard time, and all you could afford is 1,000. But like Sunny, June, and Mary Jane, all of them are doing 10,000. Like now I'm feeling, now the pressure,
Yeah.
And I get the accountability.
It's accountability, but I also think deep inside, these
like the pressure.
Moderators of the group are like, let's do it this way so that we can feel like, people can feel like, so-and-so has done $100. Let me also do at least 80.
Yeah,
I was going to do 20, but now this is too far from that. Yeah, it is. But then it increases the amount of donations. I think it does, because remember when we were doing we were doing a live stream for for fundraiser.
Yeah. It's so funny. Let's just transition like that the way you want to transition, because I was about to say I don't like fundraisers. And then you're out here saying, you remember when we did one? No, like,
I don't know. It
pick
depends.
a
It really depends
side.
on the cause. We've done 2.
Yo. Yo, okay, I like fundraisers, man. Yo, sometimes
Over the
it's-
years. We've done 2.
I was about to say, I really
Actually,
don't like that.
I've done
Yo,
3.
you remember we've done? Yo.
I've done 3. Live streams, I've done 3. We
Okay.
were involved in 2. Actually,
Okay, you're saying too much.
I think we were involved in all 3.
Whoa. It gets worse.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about
But
fundraisers.
anyway, the one we did that I remember is we would be like, okay, so and so has done.
It's so sad because I was just calling myself out. I really hate when people say how much has. And I remember on the microphone,
Yeah.
Sally, 50,000.
Hey,
Yeah.
Nani anamsindikisha, who is going to...
I'm like, Nani, you're sitting there and Sally has given money. Give.
And then someone would enter the live stream, and you know they're successful, and you'd be like,
Oh, I
Nani,
know.
someone who does so well like you should be... Hey,
That was good times though.
it was. We were
For
having a
whatever
good
we
time.
were doing, we did great, and
Yeah.
the cause was good, and
Yep.
the person was happy, and we're good. We're good on that. I
And to
feel
some
like.
extent, fundraisers are a good thing. There's this
Yeah.
spirit there's the Kenyan spirit of Harambee, of community.
Yeah.
But I think now that we're in the US,
Mm-hmm.
that spirit has been a little misconstrued.
Do you feel so?
Not entirely,
Mm-hmm.
but to a small extent.
Okay. I have nothing against fundraisers.
Mm-hmm.
That's honestly true. Fundraising for hospital bills,
Yes,
loss,
emergencies.
loss, emergencies. Those are things, I can see why, and I would really give and with an open heart. But when you come and say, help me move, or, you're already in a house, you're like, I'm GoFunding me to move into a bigger apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm GoFunding me to buy a vehicle. Like, why are we involved in your life like that?
Yeah, the other one I don't like
know.
is doing fundraisers for a party, like weddings, baby showers.
I totally know how you feel about that.
I am so against.
Yeah.
Here's my take: if you can't afford
Don't
a
do
big
it.
baby shower, don't
do
do
it.
it. Invite your 5 people.
Yeah.
Make your rice and beans.
Yeah, and just have a good time.
And have a good time.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a big show and have all these people if you can't afford it.
But sometimes it's very unwillingly, Sunny, and
know.
I'll speak for the Kenyan
And
community.
people
'cause-
do it out of a lot of people will do it out of love.
Out of a
we
good
love
place.
you. Let 30 of us gather. We put some funds together. We do something for you.
Yeah. So it comes from that place. Like you said, it's your Harambee spirit. Remember,
Yeah.
even back in the day, before even we were grown enough to understand fundraising, I'm sure you knew Harambee.
Yeah.
It's a word that we used in Kenya. Harambee, to like, it's like Harambee.
Nyayo. Me, I grew
I
up
think
in the boy. I grew up in the
Nyayo
boy
era.
era.
That's now. Yours is in
Like,
politics.
that's why it was Harambee.
That's-
Nyayo.
That was politics. But the Harambee was like, okay, come and push me.
Yeah.
Like, help me push, And so even before we knew exactly what it is and what it entails, we knew of it. Because in our culture, if you, for example, have finished high school and you have a chance to go abroad and maybe study, people would gather, families will gather, the community will gather and say, Sunny is going to America, we're pushing him to continue further studies. But now, to some extent, I feel like there's some strings attached, because if we send you to go America, you study. When you come back, if you make it, if I ask, hey, Nani needs something, you better be able to
Able to
provide,
bring it, yeah.
because we, the community, sent you to school.
Made you successful.
No, yeah. So it's like there's a
on the
strings
flip
attached.
side, I think there's also, if the community sent you to school, there's some pressure on succeeding, on getting good grades,
Yeah.
on studying, because you feel like you owe it to them.
You failed
Because
them,
otherwise, when you come back to Kenya to visit and the whole community asks, Mtoto Juliana University,
Yeah.
how are you doing? I dropped out, or I did this,
Yeah,
or my
it's-
grades are bad, or
Yeah.
things like that. The whole community is like kind of, like, that's why I think they say in Kenya it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah. But indeed, it did that back in the day.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
I don't think now. And
Not
that's what I'm
very
saying.
much.
Today, in today's world, that is taken, and I think sometimes it's a little bit taken advantage of. Like that same kid, the way you were saying, who they paid for to go to school, now when the guy has graduated, has got a
Yeah.
job, and he's coming back to Kenya to visit, you'll be going back with 4 suitcases. Because
for sure.
Now
you can't go back home empty-handed.
Yeah, my son wants a laptop.
Yeah.
You know, an iPad. And when you get demands from Kenya, when you're in the US, there are these gigantic demands. See, not bring me a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You can go buy a $10 t-shirt or a $15 t-shirt.
But a laptop, I'm going to break bank.
Yeah.
To accommodate you and buy you
AirPods.
a laptop.
The kind of things people ask for in Kenya, they are a little out there.
Yeah, and I wonder why. I wonder if I was that way before I came here. Okay, but me, I had never asked for anything, to be honest. It was, if I managed to get a gift back, it's already a win. Imetoka America. It could be socks, you know, but... You know, when I was growing up, and anyway, the people that came didn't really bring back stuff. So I didn't know to be gifted from, you know?
Yeah.
And ilikuwa, kuna mtu ashaipewa gift. Unaona ile mask ya ndege? The mask they give you to see?
Yeah, kufunika macho.
Yeah, it's written kata or whatever. Yeah. That's your gift I brought for you. Like, I know you are from America, but
you
wow.
Feel like, this is but there are some people that would say, oh yeah, this is a gift.
It's a good gift, but like, surely, honestly, that you were given for free when you don't,
Not
you know.
To me,
And then don't tell people it's a gift I got. You didn't buy, you know. So some people abuse that, but I didn't have the expectation to be helped.
I think deep inside, I would wish someone did bring me a laptop.
Yeah.
Or an iPad.
Did you ever ask for it?
Then. I don't remember. But I know when my older sister would come to visit when I was still in high school, she would bring gifts like, the one thing she brought me that I cherished it for the longest time is, she brought me cologne, like, I think it was Cool Water or something.
Oh my God, yeah.
And she brought me cologne, and she brought me some other gifts, clothes and stuff like that. So to me, I was like, oh wow, like, man. And then that cologne, I think I used that cologne for like 6 years.
Oh, what?
I would only...
Bado
because you only used it when...
It's necessary.
You're like, oh, today I want to impress. So you do... You don't do more than that.
It's when you're going on a hot date.
Yeah.
But do you feel like the flip side, if we were to reverse cultures and say the American culture, do you think they have that expectation? Like, for example, and I know they don't travel to go to, some of them do, but not to the extent that we do, you know, like leaving abroad to go study. If your son or your daughter has graduated, do you feel like like the families and the American culture help this one succeed? Me, I feel like they have student loans. That's the biggest thing I know. I don't know of Harambee spirit here.
Yeah, the economy in the US, for the most part, works on debt.
Yeah.
The Kenyan economy, when we were growing up, didn't work on debt.
Right.
And even business-wise, it worked on a handshake basis.
Right.
You know, I'm going to get goods worth 10,000 from you.
Yeah.
I'll give you the money next week. Handshake. So next week I've only got 8,000. Here you go. Okay, do this for me. I do this for you. That kind of thing.
Yes.
Now I
think
it's
like more exchange of.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now I think today the economy is going more towards getting some debt because there's banks loaning. Interest rates now, mind you, are high, but people are still taking advantage of that to be able to do business. But I think that's the difference. In the US, the economy is based on debt.
Okay.
And there, it was all based on community.
So in America, essentially, and we said this before in one of our podcasts, you look good when you get debt.
Yes.
You know, the credit is what kind of builds you, your status in terms
and there's good debt and bad debt, obviously.
There is definitely that, But like, if you know and you're responsible and know how to take care of good debt, then you're better off having it.
Absolutely.
You know, that's crazy though.
Now, let's go back to what you had talked about GoFundMe. What was, you had something you wanted to ask
so I was going to ask you, like, aside from the things we just discussed, which is health reasons or maybe family and something, you know, emergencies, the thing I would consider, like, I would give. How do you feel about you personally, like, starting a GoFundMe to say, maybe I need a new DJ set? Like, is that something you would do?
Negative.
Okay, that's the end of that discussion.
Negative.
There's nothing else.
And I think a lot of it has to do with how I grew up, how I was brought up. To me, kitu ya kupewa tu, I don't like it. You know, so but I see all these GoFundMes out there that, like you said, I'm moving. Or if you're moving, do a housewarming. People can bring you gifts, whatever. Or I need to buy a car.
Yeah.
Or there's one I saw recently of a TikToker who has passed away.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and apparently there was some financial strain in his family, and Now the family wants to maintain the same lifestyle that he was giving them. And his income was mainly from TikTok. So they started a GoFundMe.
Now that is something I would feel some type of way about.
Not to be able to help with funeral expenses.
Even just funeral expenses, in fact, would be very justified.
Yeah, or just but they want, the whole reason is they want to maintain this same standard of living that that they've been used to.
Crazy.
So instead of saying, I'll take a step back, and now maybe I'll go find a job.
Yeah, just like, the luxury we had.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe buy the store brand.
Yeah, instead of the,
name
that's
brand.
Wild to me. GoFundMe to maintain the status of life that I mean, see, that's some very entitled.
Entitled, yes. But think about this. In lieu of all that stuff, say you've gotten used to a life that you have now.
Okay.
And you've been through whatever hell you've been through to get to the life you have now.
Okay.
And then you lose it all. What would you say you would want to maintain this lifestyle come what may, or are you open to starting all over and being humble to not looking like you have it?
Sunny, that's a good question. And me, I've said this before. I am like on my third life. I am never scared to start over. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've seen me start over.
When like this.
Yeah. I have many lives. I don't want to say they are 9, but like I'm on my third life, bro. Like, I start over easy. Like, I am not, I think because of what life has taught me, I am not scared to start over.
Yeah.
And I'll just quickly throw this in. Speaking of that, Colonel Mustafa, he was a Kenyan musician. Growing up, we knew of him, we knew his songs. He had a lifestyle. He had a status and he maintained a certain kind of lifestyle. But now, Juzi, there's a video circulating online. He was seen in a construction site, akifanya mjengo. Because your construction, is not considered a very good job.
Yeah.
It's a good job. People, here, if anything...
It's a job regardless.
Yeah, here, if anything, they make more than a lot of people who work in the office.
In Kenya, manual labor does not pay.
No, yeah. And we'll get into that, but for sure. People kind of look down on that kind of job.
Yeah.
And that's okay, but like somebody who recorded it, who did not record it in was recording it in a malicious way to kind of show, he used to be so-and-so, look at him now.
Yeah.
So, of course, it goes around social media and people are talking. And Mseto East Africa call him and they're like, bro, so there's this video that's going around. And so he says, you know what? It's actually true. My mother has been ailing from cancer. It's been a year. I ran out of money. I got to find somehow to make
hustle,
ends meet. Yeah, and even just Kenya, healthcare is fucking expensive.
It's very expensive, yes.
Like, I don't understand it. And you cannot even
get
good healthcare.
And it's not even the quality that you expect for what you're paying.
Yani, it's just bananas.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that you would lose everything you have trying to help a loved one to get the treatment that they need. And so all this to say, now they do have an M-Pesa line that Mseto put together. Of course, he authorized it, where we can donate and you listening can donate so that Colonel Mustafa's mom can get treatment. And which I think, now that's a good cause.
A good cause. And also, I really don't appreciate people who look down on someone to say, you know what, instead of going and saying, you guys help me.
Yeah.
Let me go find what I can and make what I can and support what I can.
Me, Annie, I don't care. I don't meet you. Some of the jobs I've worked. Like, to make ends meet, I'll do anything. But it's great to look nice and dress nice and outfit of the day for work. But and then you're sitting on a desk and you're paid $10 an hour. I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, the other person who's on the construction site sweating and his hands or whatever is being paid, I don't know how much an hour, maybe 5 times more than you paid an hour,
Yeah.
And you just want it for the status of looking good. Bro, that's so. To answer your question, no, me, I would not be afraid to start over.
Yeah,
how would you feel about it?
I was going about it also from the whole idea of public image. Like, how would it look in the public image? Of course, people would
talk. They already talk. Sometimes, you know what I said, and I should put this as an Instagram caption.
You're a bartender in the US.
Yeah, somebody said, was I a bartender or was I even a stripper at some point?
You might have been. Who knows?
I don't know. Sometimes I hear rumors about myself. I'm like, y'all think I'm really sexy to be a stripper. They have some very interesting dreams. But all this to say, public image, people will talk whether or not you do something or you don't. Like, you might just be standing there. There's somebody already talking about you right now. So I'm not scared to do that. And I was saying, I'll put this as an Instagram caption. don't work so hard to impress these people to like you. Some of them don't even like themselves. So like, be careful. You're trying to impress people who don't even like themselves to like you. No, me, I'll do whatever it needs to put food on the table.
Yeah.
Of course, in decent light, I mean.
Yeah.
Like to hustle.
Well, according to the public, you've already stripped to put food on the
so
table,
if I have, you're like, listen, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. But that is, I had that and I laughed. We laughed about it. It's crazy.
So that GoFundMe about this guy, his family trying to keep up his lifestyle kind of threw me off. And then GoFundMe keeps, I think, 2.9% of whatever is collected of every transaction plus 30
I didn't know
cents.
that. Wow.
So it's 2.9% plus 30 cents.
Oh, okay. So the percentage plus 30 cents. Why is the 30 cents there?
I don't know. I guess it just, so it looks like it's 2.9%. Okay, that's not bad. It's not 3%. And then 30 cents isn't a lot. So you're getting a little bit more than,
I really don't get it, but we will. I think that's a bone to pick with them. Like, I don't get the 30 cents, you know what I'm saying?
And then they call it a fee to be able to maintain the site and all that stuff, which
makes
is
sense.
fair enough.
Yeah, because you're getting free money using their site. So, hey, that makes sense.
So there's a term out there called black tax.
Yeah.
Kind of tying into what we're talking about, providing for families and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This term came about in South Africa, post-apartheid, about black professionals who have to feel obligated to pay for their family's expenses beyond their own living expenses. And it's so the whole premise of it is, like you talked about the Kijana who you did a fundraiser for. He went to the US. He got a degree. Now he's working.
Right.
Now, what happens is a family will raise a child. You raise your kid. You nurture them. They become successful.
Right.
And then now the black tax is expecting this kid to support you.
Like give back.
Yeah,
so it was
give
an
back.
investment plan.
Basically an investment other than a family nurturing.
Isn't that very much what happens in most African cultures?
In a lot of them, yes. And I don't know if some of it is, in some families it's expected. In some families, I think culturally, that successful person feels guilty if they don't.
That's very,
and maybe
very
they're
honest,
guilted into it.
Yeah. It's like, do you want to? Well, of course you say yes, you want to. Might you be able to afford it at the time? Maybe not. But you have to.
Yeah.
Because if you fail, you have failed your family.
Yeah.
Wow.
And some families probably also push their kids to do a certain thing, like become a doctor, or become a lawyer, or become an engineer, not because you want to become that, but because that is our retirement plan.
Oh my God, that's so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yo.
And in a way, it takes this person and puts them in this bubble where they can't even explore who they are.
Yeah, because they wanted to be a creative, but you said that won't pay.
Yeah.
We need you to be a lawyer so you can take care of the family.
Yeah.
And I know I've had stories, of course. You see stories on Facebook, you hear stories in real life where it is like, sometimes like you're in America, Cindy, you have younger siblings, maybe you help them go through school. And then you're like, I helped my cousin or my brother. So now it's time that I live in America, but I need to prepare to retire. So I will start building a house. And of course, I trust Nani because I helped them go through school.
Yeah.
And so you start sending money to them and you're like, yeah, okay, so how's the project coming? And you're waiting. Kumbe, all this time they have not been building for you. You have had those stories, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. They're dime a dozen.
Yeah. So I say this to say, you felt guilty. You gave out of guilt.
Yeah.
The person you're giving does not feel any kind of remorse whatsoever or even gratitude. It's like, you made it, I'm going to milk you till you dry.
Yep.
So the mindset is different. So I don't know if families or just us guys should expect that, honestly, in return. I don't feel like
I don't think it's
right.
fair.
But it's not like I would sit here and watch a family member struggle while I got it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
there's
I guess
also
it's
this other
principle.
mindset within mostly immigrant families where regardless of how well we're doing as a family, money-wise, wealth-wise, we always portray to family members and to our children that we are struggling.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know.
So, Sunny, and I'll just say this. I feel bad because that's very true. I've seen it in a lot of families.
Yeah.
But and I think I said this to you. It's like is it humility? Because that's not humility.
That's not humility.
It's you feigning poverty just because you want to stay humble. What is that?
But it has other adverse effects, especially if you're the older sibling. say you're a family of 5 siblings and you're the oldest and your family is doing well, but you've always been given the image that your family is not
Struggling,
doing well, is
yeah.
struggling.
Yeah, we're just making
to the
ends
point
meet.
where even if you are going to buy a piece of gum, you have to go buy this other gum because there's only 3 sticks in it and it's
Yeah.
10 cents cheaper, like nickel and diming
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, literally, yeah.
So you as the older sibling are going to feel an obligation towards the rest of your siblings because you feel like, oh, my family is struggling now and they've done so much for us
Yeah.
that I need to. So the
But
older
what do you
siblings-
mean has done so much to us? Nobody has to be here. And people say that's rude. But if you're going to have a child, be prepared to take care
But
of them.
a lot of immigrant families guilt trip their children
Yeah.
into, we've raised you, we've done this
Yeah.
for you, we've done that
And
for
I
you.
think that's really flawed.
It is very
Yeah.
flawed. And then this older sibling goes to school, gets a job, starts, and then this older sibling can never elevate themselves because
Yeah.
they constantly feel like my younger siblings, I
Need
need to
me.
be there, I need me, they
And so
need
the
me. I have
chain
to
never
be there.
really breaks then,
It
Sunny.
never.
Because now, after we've done that, and now I have kids, I'm making sure they know
Yeah.
that so everybody's just
So
giving
you're
back. We
projecting
cannot
that
go
onto your
forward.
kids also, yeah.
Yeah,
And then because you grew up in a family of 5 siblings.
Yeah.
You say, I grew up in a big family, so I want a big family.
Yeah.
And then unless you heal from that, you'll
Yeah.
be projecting that same thing onto your kids because you want a big family.
And that's now why it's a generational problem.
Yes.
Guy, that's wild. Yeah, I thought, I never thought it that way. Because living where we live right now and what we see, most Americans, and I say this with a little knowledge I know, I don't know percentage, Cindy or Tujuni Nini, but I know most Americans will set up their families. And maybe I would dare say it's known more in white people than black people culture, that families set up their families. You know how they say, oh, my grandfather has a, what do you call it?
A trust.
Trust, yeah. You know the people we call trust fund babies.
Yeah.
But guess what? Their family took time to put money away for them for the future so they don't have to suffer the way they did.
And it's not a very difficult thing.
It's not.
And that's the whole thing about like breaking that circle is our generation now have to break that circle. So
Right.
with our kids, we have to start setting things up in certain ways so that we are not pushing them to be doctors. We're not pushing them to be engineers.
Do you think that will happen now?
I hope
I feel like it's not our generation. I feel like we have there's a gap, right? Like we
there
can't
some
just
of us are
switch.
still. Well, I'm really hopeful that with our generation being in the middle of this internet boom and everything that's happening and technology boom, that we can let our children pursue what they want
They
to
desire.
pursue
Yeah.
and make the best out of it.
But you know why I'm asking you that? See, now most of the people we know, our generation, is people that still have families back home
Yeah.
that they take care of.
Yes,
So it can't stop with us. We're still taking care of some people.
we are taking care
But
of
like,
some
you
people.
can't just stop and say, okay, now I'm done helping. Like now I'm investing in myself. Nobody will understand that. So like, that's why I'm feeling like there's a little generational gap. Like maybe not us, maybe our kids a little bit and their kids, hopefully teaching that down.
But I think we can start moving in that direction.
We definitely can start.
Yeah.
It won't be a complete, I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
wish it could be something we switch. It's going to take a long time. And just being raised the way we were raised, there's still people who just still won't do it. They know how to take care backwards. They don't know how to take care of,
care
you know what I'm saying?
forward,
And
yeah.
it's something we have to break the cycle.
So this thing you are talking about, like you said, especially white people in
Yeah.
America. I remember having a friend in college whose parents had bought him a house where he was going to college,
Wow.
like a 4-bedroom house. Yeah.
Were they like rich?
No, but what they done is they had got a mortgage, they had good credit, and they co-signed for their son
So they put his name on the house?
on the house.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the son is going to college. He got 3 roommates to pay rent, right? The rent that these roommates are paying pays the mortgage.
Oh, it covers the mortgage.
Yeah, and the
Wow.
bills in the house, the
Yeah,
utilities and
eh?
whatnot. So this kid is going to college.
Yeah.
He has a house in his name.
Wow. He's
and
living for
not-
free.
And he's living for free.
Oh, that's so
And he has a
cool.
whole house. And these are the things that I think we need to start thinking about doing so that now when this guy finishes college and gets a job, he can start paying for the mortgage. He can
Right.
kick out his roommates. He can keep his roommates.
Yeah.
But imagine having a house at 18.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
How far ahead are you? Because
But also with some knowledge, because some people will squander that money you've been saving for them, you know.
Yeah.
So there's
but
some
as long
discipline.
as they've been taught the right discipline and everything. So by the time this person is 28, they have built 10 years worth of equity in this property.
And their credit has been good
And
because
exactly.
the house, right? Oh, that's so
And just
smart.
earning these, making sure that you keep your credit up, making sure you make your payments on time, making sure you don't misuse credit cards.
Yeah.
And that is the thing I feel like a lot of other, whether you're successful or not, if you're in the diaspora, I think it can happen. It can even be used in other countries, in Kenya and places like that.
For sure.
Where you don't have to be wealthy, but you can just plan. You can just plan properly and say, let me put aside some money for down payment for my child, for the house, this, a college fund, start putting money away for that.
Yeah.
A will, we've talked about those kind of things before, but just start planning early.
I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I also saw something on social media, and it was when people were being told, parents, like at 18, you know how people were like, you're a grown man now, go and fend for yourself. How about you let your kids still live in your house at 18, continue, but now charge them rent since they are working.
Yeah.
Charge them a percentage. It could be even like $500 a month. Just cheap, something cheap. Charge them that. Take rent from them monthly.
Get them used to the system.
Yes. And let them live there for as long as they can. And you know what? They could live there for the next 10 years, depending on what life decides. But like, there's no rush. You know how we were taught, finish school and then go get your own house. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can set up your kids slowly like that. Charge them the rent. When they're ready to move out, tell them this is all the rent you've paid me. Yeah. Use it as a down payment for
on
the
a house. Yeah.
And
maybe you can invest what they're paying you in a fund for them.
Right.
A lot of times we're always thinking of ways to, how do we challenge our children more than how do we help our children.
Right.
It's always, they need to learn.
I went through it, so I'm gonna
and it wasn't done for me, so why should I do for them? I learned the hard way. They need to learn the hard way. But that makes the generational curse keep going on and
the
on
ball
and on.
keeps becoming bigger, it's just rolling.
Exactly.
Wow, that's crazy. I feel like that would also have to be another conversation on funds and investment and how to go about it.
Now, speaking of this technological boom, something came to my mind. Who decided that certain emojis mean certain things?
I don't know who decided.
Like, who decided an eggplant and not a banana? Like,
you don't prepare me for these things, yo. I don't know who decided. Some dirty pervert. But actually, think about it. Isn't an eggplant closer looking than a banana would be?
But there's many other emojis that you could use.
Like which one?
A peach is...
A heart. But they're already hearts.
No, a peach is not a heart.
No, I know. But I'm trying to say it could look like a heart. It does not.
No.
Yeah, it does look like but
then there's some emojis that are official emojis for certain things.
Yeah, for sure.
And who decided those are the ones?
See, there are the same people that brought us Instagram and them. Who knows who they are? Well, we do names, but like, the team the tree is big. So there's so many branches under. So
and
those
then
people maybe.
Why do some people laugh straight and some people laugh sideways?
So me, when I laugh straight, if I'm using an emoji, I laugh straight. I'm like, I did laugh. When I laugh sideways, I'm like this. You see, it's a different one. Now this one is a side one. But that's just me. That's how I interpret that. Like, I could be just standing and laugh, but I did laugh. But another thing lol.
So the sideways ones is the lol.
Now the sideways ones, I'm like losing it.
Okay, so about LOL, laugh out loud.
Yes.
Have you ever met people who will actually say, when you say a joke, they actually say lol?
Yeah, I have it. It's so funny. Like, why don't you, okay, I get that.
I didn't see you laugh, but you said lol.
I do know a few people that do that. I know one girl in particular. It's hilarious to hear her say that.
I've never met someone that says lamao.
Lamao. Like, me, I say, you know what I say, which... you know what I say, Sunny? And I've said it on the podcast. I'm like, oh my God, I'm screaming. I'm not actually screaming. But it's just to exclaim, oh my God, how hilarious that is, or shocking. Mostly hilarious.
Yeah.
But
so you're part of a LOL group.
No, yeah, just
You're
I'm
part of the
screaming.
LOL group.
I don't LOL. At least I don't abbreviate. I just, oh my God, I'm screaming. I actually say I'm screaming.
You don't say OMG I screaming or IS. OMG IS.
OMG I. No, I do not. That's very interesting. Yeah, social media is wild.
Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap this episode up. Cheers to you, and catch us on all social media platforms, Sunday Wind Down. You can listen to us on all podcast platforms. You can watch us on YouTube.
I'm okay, Sunday, why?